Hi, thanks for joining me on this episode of Monsta MTV. Today I'm going to talk to you about what you need to know when building a new home. And we still hear many of the horror stories out there of people's experiences of where things don't go right. Starts off with a dream, ends up as a nightmare. And obviously our Monsta Go-To service is one that we always want to make sure that people can ensure it's a dream and not that nightmare. But these are things that you might want to look at and consider. There's 5 things here that I've got summarised for you that you want to make sure you remember when you are when you are going to build a new home. Very important to check that one out. So firstly, where people come unstuck mostly is not knowing their numbers. Know your numbers, okay? A budget is really important, and before you start looking into construction, you need to understand what it is you can afford. And you need to not just look at the cost of construction, but you need to look at maybe potential tax implications, because some of you out there may be involved in employment or business or income levels that could be impacted by that. And are there benefits on the other side of that? What are the funds you need for down payments, okay? And also slush accounts, because let me tell you, there's always the extra that you're going to want and need during that journey, and all the other related calculations that come on board. So you cannot plan enough with the number stage, because you want to understand what that is before you start going to banks or financiers to get monies. And what we always hate, and financiers always tend to ask that second question, is why you're back there for more. Get that right at the start, okay? Because once you understand your numbers, you go in with full confidence, and then you can actually plan to the budget, and that allows you to stay on budget. The next piece is when you're then looking at builders to select, check the reputation of the builder. Now, the reality is, not all builders are created equal, okay? That is just the way of life, and you can research about the builders that are out there that might be best for you and the type of construction you want. So if you're, for example, wanting to build a home that's a Tudor style home, there are specialist builders in that space. Just because you've seen one builder or heard of a builder that does a good deal or good prices and you want a Tudor style home, if that's not their specialty area, they can really bugger that up. Just like if you want something that's more modern designed, or you're trying to go with a beach home, whatever it is, 2 stories, there are specialist builders in certain sectors, and I would look at those very carefully because they will help you get the result you want, and because they're doing it all the time, they are usually more cost effective and ensure they know what they're doing, okay? So that's a big one. So you can, when you're meeting with builders, ask about client testimonials, check that out. If they're transparent with you, they should actually be giving you people's details of who you can go and see, or even street addresses in your city or areas where you can drive past and get a feel for what the home looks like and get a really clear understanding. And that also helps you with the ideas that you want to go back to ask them with when you get to the contract signing stage. The other piece I'll tell you about is that you might be dealing with a smaller builder. Go and check them out through the Housing Industry Association, the HIA, or Master Builders Association, MBA. Their members are always listed. And just because someone's got the logo on their website or on a vehicle or a quote, check that first, okay? Ensure they are, and then when you ring them up, if there's any warning signs or things that have black marks against these builders, those associations will be transparent and tell you that, and at least they can let you know. And you've got confidence that you're dealing with someone of a ilk that's going to be able to, you can deal with and get to that home that you want to build. Also understand the questions you want to ask your builder, okay? So when you're looking to choose that builder, write them all down and list them. What are the questions you want to ask your builder? Because that is also going to help you make the decision, is the builder, and you might be talking to a few of them, are they the right builder for you? And it doesn't necessarily just have to be about the design of the home or the building process. It can be other questions, and you'll get a feel for if they can deliver what it is you're wanting. Number 3, and I say this frequently and it's often forgotten, but always build with resale in mind. It doesn't matter that you think that this is going to be your forever home, or you're going to build and you're going to stay in this home for your family, their family, and ongoing. You do not know what the circumstances are in the future, what could be around the corner. Anything could happen. It could be a total sea change for you and you move on, or circumstances change for you that force you to move on. If you have built with just yourself in mind, you are going to devalue the time when you need to sell that house and when you may need to sell the house in the future. So that is important, that when you are planning and you're looking at builders, you need to understand that this is not just what you are going to have now, but what could it be in the future. Now, Doesn't mean you don't design it for what you want, but don't go out there with some crazy stuff that you think, oh, well, this is just a piece for our family, we're always going to want this, and it doesn't really matter if anyone else doesn't like it. Because that could actually impact you in the future. All those around you, your loved ones that actually might inherit the house from you later on, for whatever circumstances, and they can't move it. A home, when you're building, it is a personal thing, but don't detach the piece that it's an investment. Think smart, because it is one of the largest investments you'll ever make. Doesn't matter what income level you're at, so get that piece on the right track and understand that, because if you start designing things in your neighbourhood that don't suit, that could actually really devalue the home later on. And if you go with some crazy way out ideas that just aren't going to meet the needs of the future public that actually might want that home or be interested in it, it's also going to impact the resale value. So keep that in mind when you are looking to find a builder to build a new home. The fourth one is think green. Now, it doesn't matter what you believe in, whether you're an eco-friendly conscious individual out there or you think it's a whole lot of rubbish. If you haven't built a green friendly home and an environmentally friendly design in the future, it will devalue your home. And the reality is, the one certainty in life besides death and taxes is things are going to get more expensive with the energy, because that is just the way of the world. It's everywhere. It doesn't matter whether you live in the southern hemisphere or the northern hemisphere. So ensure that when you are going to go with a new home, you are thinking green and you maximise the design stage. So your architect or designer through the builder should be able to help in this area. Things like your windows, your doors, where they're facing, the rooms, maximising warmth in the area, how to actually have bathrooms, laundries, garages positioned in the design that's going to reduce heat loss in the home and also maximise the cooler temperatures for those that are in warmer climates. That's a one that you need to ensure. And things like spending time on the insulation side of it. These items like door sills, window sills, insulation, water efficient appliances, cisterns. You might think now it's all cost effective, but these are all going up in the future. Population growth is on the rise in Australia, and when that goes up, the demands on energy go up as well, and that's going to increase the price. So this is the time to get it right and really ensure you've got green friendly products. Just because it says green, do you know they're green? That's the part you need to investigate. And the fifth one is read the fine print. Before you sign a contract, I tell everybody, read that fine print, because contracts is where people come unstuck. Contracts is where relationships go sour. And if you don't read it, and you then don't know what to ask. And if you read it, and there's things that you aren't uncertain about, don't feel like a dummy that you can't ask a question. Ask the questions. You have every right to, and you should never be feeling pressured to have to sign that contract then and there. Take it home, look at it. If you've got access to a legal or a lawyer party, engage them if you can. The important thing is you can't just, if you think that you're not trusting or you want that third party opinion, go and get it, because this is the part where, as I said, people come unstuck, and a lot of the times people just sign on that dotted line and it just goes downhill from there, and they end up with something they're not happy with, or they're overspent, or leaves a bad taste in their mouth. On the Monsta Go-To services, we actually have a contract review service, and if you ever want that, that's available. Check it out online on our website, monstershop.com. Go to Go-To, and then you'll see where that service is, and you'll be surprised with what you'll get from that, because just some clients that we've been discussing this with lately, for a small investment, you can save $10,000 or more just in the first month, and that is where it all happens. Okay, so again, that fine print in the contract is so important. If you've got any questions, please throw them our way. I'd be more than happy to help you, and so would our Monster crew. Until the next episode of MTV, I'll see you then.